Thank you for joining us on another edition of America's Mayor Live. Today, we're going to take you to the White House, where President Trump hosted the 2026 College Football National Championship team, the Indiana Hoosiers. We'll also take you inside the Oval Office, where earlier today, the president hosted an event focused on maternal health care. So first off, we'll take you to the White House, where earlier today, President Trump welcomed Coach Curt Cignetti and the 2026 national champion football team, the Indiana Hoosiers.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, accompanied by Curt Cignetti, head coach of the Indiana University Hoosiers, and Charlie Becker.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. This is an honor. I watched that game. I watched these guys. They can play. They can play. And they were a little underestimated, but I just said, but not anymore. They're not underestimated anymore. They were incredible talents. So today it's my great honor to welcome the 2025 College Football National Champions, the Indiana University Hoosiers. And I want to say that JD's right over here. He likes Indiana. We won Indiana by a lot. It always helps when you win it by a lot. I think we won them all by a lot. You want to know the truth? But they just forgot to put that down. But we won by a lot. We just had a big victory. We beat 7 out of 8 candidates that were running against Trump. That was good. And the only reason we lost the other one is there are 2 people running. They split up the vote. I can't believe I let that happen. But we're joined today by Vice President J.D. Vance. He's fantastic. J.D., stand up for a second, will you? And his sons, Ewan and Vivek, as well as Secretary of the Interior, Doug Burgum. Doug, great secretary. We're doing now the reflective pond, and we saved about $600 million or something. It's going to be beautiful. It'll open about 2 weeks, and it's going to be incredible. They've been trying to get it open for years. They had no idea what they were doing, but we know how to do it, Doug. And it took us 2 weeks versus the projected 4 years. People would not understand it, but you've done a fantastic job. Secretary of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins. Brooke, thank you. Get those prices down. They're coming down. I see prices. We inherited the worst inflation in history. She's getting the prices down big. Thanks, Brooke. Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick, doing a wonderful job. Thank you, Howard. Acting Secretary of Labor, Keith Sonderling. Thank you, Keith. Good job. Secretary of Energy, Chris Wright. Supposed to be the best in the business. Well, you know what? I figured it would triple when we did. We had to make an excursion to the beautiful country of Iran. We didn't want to let them have a nuclear weapon, and we made the right decision, and we've got it pretty good, and those prices are going to come crashing down as soon as that's over, and we're taking care of. We got to take care of business. Great job. You're doing a great job. Thank you, Chris. HUD Secretary Scott Turner, former NFL player, by the way. A great guy. U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer, one of the most important men anywhere in the world. We need more tariffs, Jamieson. We need more tariffs. And SBA Administrator, who's fantastic, Kelly Loeffler. Thank you, Kelly. And I see Kevin over there. I don't know if they have your name now, Jeff. Will you stand up? You were so good on television over the weekend. Thank you. Kevin Hassett. Thank you, Kevin. Thanks also to Senators Todd Young. Where's Todd? Thank you. Thank you, Todd. You have a great group of people. What a group. This is a big day for Todd and Jim Banks. Jim, stand up. Where are you? Senator Banks, my friend for a long time. And Representatives Marlin Stutzman, Jim Baird, Rudy Yakim, Aaron Houchin, and Nick Begich. Thank you all. Warriors. We also have Mark Messmer, Jefferson Shreve, and Victoria Spartz. Hi, Victoria. Victoria Spartz. She's been very good. On occasion, she gets a little bit bad, a little nasty. But she is good, and she's smart, and she's always with us, right? Thank you, Victoria. Appreciate it. Also with us is Speaker of the Indiana House, Todd Hudson. Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Todd. You guys have been great. Indiana Senate Majority Floor Leader, Chris Garton. These are all people that were with me, right, Chris? We don't have any of those insurgents, do we? We had a big day. They don't know what I'm talking about behind me because they're into football, but we had a little insurgency in Indiana that didn't last very long. We had what a great group of people we have. We have many of the Republican patriots from the great state of Indiana, including Trevor DeVries, Brian Schmutzler, Blake Fichter, Tracy Powell, Jeff Ellington, Michelle Davis, who last week had a big primary election. They've all are you the people? I love you people. That was carried all over the world. They ran against people that were there for 20, 25 years, and they were, let's see, I'd say young, certainly young, but they were not expected to win. They were down by 25 or 30 points. We endorsed them, and they won in a landslide. Thank you very much. Congratulations. You'll be there a long time. Thank you very much. That was a story heard round the political world, wasn't it, huh? Wow. That's so nice that you're here. Actually, they're my favorite people right now in the audience. I don't care about that, Jim Banks. They're my favorite people, right? We're also joined by the great Sage Steele, who's a fantastic person and a supporter and a friend of mine. Thank you. Thank you. And former NFL quarterback Trent Green, great quarterback. Where's Trent? Hi, Trent. Great job. That's a good quarterback. This was a year that will live forever in the hearts of Indiana football fans. It was an exciting year for football, but maybe you're the biggest story. I think, Coach, you're the biggest story. There's no story like this. The Hoosiers delivered the program's first ever undefeated, untied season and capped it off with their first ever national title. That's amazing. Good job, though. There's a lot of muscle out there. The National Signing Day, think of this, the press conference in 2023, shortly after joining Indiana, who's Kurt? Kurt Signetti. Where is Kurt Signetti? Right here. Huh? Oh. Come here. Come here. Kurt Signetti has turned out to be, I think he's the coach of the last decade because he took a team, nobody knew him, nobody knew the team, and he ended up taking this team all the way. People were betting against you all the way, Kurt. He took over in 2023 following a really bleak 3-9 season and immediately set a tone that few people have seen, I think, in the history of college football. At the National Signing Day press conference in 2023, shortly after joining Indiana, Kurt was asked how he communicates his vision to recruits. And he said, it's pretty simple. I win. I just know how to win. That's a very cocky guy. I don't like people like that. Nah. I like this guy. Just 2 years later, he brought home the national championship. So, you know, when you do that stuff, you have to be able to produce when you act that way. Muhammad Ali used to get up there and, you know, over the years, I've seen people that did it better than Muhammad Ali. The problem is they couldn't fight properly. They lost. You can't do that and lose, right? But very special coach, I'll tell you that. I just got to know him a little bit backstage, and he's a winner. Every player in this team shared their coach's winning mindset, and they executed with unbelievable skill. They're skilled people. This season was also historic because starting quarterback Fernando Mendoza, now the reason he's not here, he was so nice he called, because he has actually, JD's a big fan of ours. You wouldn't believe it, because he didn't show up. I'm not happy, but that's okay. The reason he didn't, because he's at spring training, right?
Correct.
And I actually said, you really let him, he's got to win. And I think he's going to win pretty early, Coach, right? You think pretty good?
Well, time will tell.
He's going to be a good one. Time will tell. A lot of people said they're going to win, but I think he will. No, he's been great. And he's at spring training, like his first day or something. I said, you better go there. But he became Indiana's first. Otherwise, if I didn't do that, I believe me, I wouldn't have even talked about him. I would have not, if he was not here for other reasons, like he didn't like Trump or he didn't want to come, I wouldn't have even mention him. I'd go through the whole, I'd talk about how great, I wouldn't even mention the quarterback's name. But he's a great guy, actually, and he is actually a big fan of what we're doing for our country. But he became Indiana's first ever Heisman Trophy winner, right, Coach? And Fernando completed 226 of 316 passes. That's good. Throwing for 2,980 yards. Let's round it off for 3,000. Okay, I'm going to round that off a little bit, Coach. 3,000 yards and a nation-leading 33 touchdowns. Fernando couldn't be here today because, as I said, he's now a member of the Las Vegas Raiders, and let's see how good a team they have, and I think he's going to do great. He's a winner. With Fernando's help and a stacked lineup, Indiana utterly dominated in the regular season, winning 10 out of 12 games by double-digit margins. In the first 3 games, Indiana outscored their opponents, 156 to 23. I think they have a good coach. And they closed the regular season by crushing their in-state rival Purdue, always a good team, 56 to 3. That's pretty good. Nice memories. But things weren't as straightforward in the Big Ten championship against Ohio State. That was a tough one. Indiana entered the game known for its rock-solid defense and actually known for college basketball, to be honest with you. And now I think they're going to be known for football. But they entered the game against Ohio State, and people really, I think they thought of Ohio State as being almost unbeatable and brought back one of the most explosive offenses in the nation, Ohio State did. But in the end, the Hoosiers prevailed over the Buckeyes. Junior linebacker Isaiah Jones. Where's Isaiah?
He can play.
I said, how good is he, Coach? He said, he can play. Let me see. He's a good-looking guy. I don't like good-looking people. I don't like good-looking men at all, believe me. But he recorded 2 of Indiana's first 5 sacks. Think of that. So he had 5 sacks. Well, helping the team secure a hard-fought 13-10 victory, really against a great football power. All right? That's a big honor. Next up was the Rose Bowl, where Indiana delivered a commanding 38-3 victory over Alabama. Coach,
Little time.
you gotta be kidding. That's right, over Alabama. That's a big one. After a scoreless first quarter, the Hoosiers broke through and never looked back. Defeating the Crimson Tide is no small feat, and it wouldn't have been possible without starting center Pat Coogan. Where's Pat?
He's at Titans.
NFL mini.
Oh, he's at training camp. Forget this. Forget training camp. But he's a good fan, Coach, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. I'm glad I mentioned his name. That's good. Say hello to him. That's a big deal. In recognition of his dominant performance, Pat became the first offensive lineman since 1944 to be named the Rose Bowl's most valuable player. Pat is busy today in training camp. That's great. Is he that good?
Oh, yeah.
Is Pat Coogan that good?
Oh, yeah. Seriously good. We got 15 of them in training camp
Wow,
right now.
is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. 15 in training camp. Wow. How many potentials do you have back there? A lot, right?
Quite a few.
Quite a few potentials. In the Peach Bowl, Indiana shattered Oregon's confidence. That was another one. Oregon was supposed to be a hot team. I watched it. I said, what's going on here? But they shattered Oregon's confidence right out of the gate when, during the first play of the game, cornerback D'Angelo Pons, what a good name, intercepted the ball. Where's D'Angelo?
Training camp.
Oh, I can't believe it. No wonder you won.
He was a junior.
Wow. How good? Really good?
Really good.
Intercepted the ball and ran it back for the game's first touchdown after securing a commanding 56-22 victory. This team was off to the championship. In the championship game against Miami, Indiana held a narrow 10-0 lead at halftime, controlling the pace but unable to pull away. The score remained low for most of the game, but everything changed in the fourth quarter. That's true. With under 10 minutes remaining, Indiana faced a critical 4th and 5. No coach in America would have done what this guy did. They said, this guy is making such a mistake, and he won. That was a hell of a play. You know, that's the kind of play. If they don't do that play, if it doesn't work, that's like career threatening, right?
Got to play to win.
You got to play. It was great. On Miami's 13-yard line, Fernando took the snap and powered through the defense past the first down marker before launching himself into the end zone, extending Indiana's lead 24-14. But Miami wasn't done yet. The Hurricanes took possession and scored, cutting Indiana's lead 24-21. Indiana got the ball once more and put 3 more points on the board, pushing the score to 27-21. I mean, you have to see this game. I would say that coach, I know he's got a good reputation. This guy is calling the wrong plays, but he kept winning. They kept scoring. They kept doing all this stuff. The things that weren't supposed to happen. You're just lucky you won that game, because if you didn't, they would have said, this coach is crazy. With just 51, that's why he's a great coach. With just 51 seconds left to tie the game and deep within Indiana's territory, Miami's quarterback fired off a 30-yard pass, only to be intercepted by junior Jamari Sharp. Where's Jamari?
Jamari.
Jamari. Come on up. Come on. Look at this guy. You want to say so? Go ahead. Tell him how good this guy is.
Coach Sig's a very good coach, you know. Once he first came to Indiana, I didn't know if I was going to stay, but I stayed, and I'm glad I stayed because we won a national championship.
He doesn't want to leave the stage. Good-looking guy, huh? Thank you. Thank you. He didn't want to leave the stage. He's a natural. So the Hurricanes are great. The team is so great. Jamari, I want to thank you for getting up and making such a rousing speech. By the way, a lot of people don't do that. You know, a lot of times they'll do that and say, no, I don't want to talk. But he's got a future in a lot of things, probably football, first of all. From there, the outcome was sealed, and the Hoosiers became national champions. Think of that, right? I was there. You went through a lot of great teams when you think, and real football powerhouses over the years. It's pretty
6
intimidating.
top 10 teams.
Yeah, amazing. Top 10s. This team lifted the Indiana football program from a historic low. It really didn't have a good reputation over there, but it tells you what coaching means too. But your grit and discipline and your belief and your strength of character, the coach I think he's just incredible. I think it's an incredible story. When I heard they were coming today, I said, I got to meet that coach, because he came out of like high school, a great high school program, but you made it good. But what you did is something that I don't think anybody's ever really done in college football history. How is your team going to be this year, Coach? What do you think?
Well, we got a chance if we commit and if we have discipline and a great work ethic. And if we can handle success and we can handle failure and we're consistent day in, day out, we might have a chance.
How about this guy? Is he central casting or what? I gotta watch you. I gotta watch you. You're amazing. You have made the fans really proud and inspired millions, all of you, the coach and the players, and reminded everyone that with determination and lots of hard work, anything's possible. And I said to the coach, you know, we have a very special area. Well, that's very special. We're building a beautiful ballroom. You can see it's not too small, Coach. We need it. For 150 years, they've wanted a ballroom. We're going to give them the greatest ballroom anywhere in the country. I'm very good at ballrooms. I'm very good at building things. But I said to the coach, there's a special place here, and it's called the Oval Office. Everything sort of begins, ends, and re-begins again. And I said, if you like, Coach, I'll take your entire team back, and we're going to go to the Oval Office, show him the Oval Office, and we're going to give him a very, very special medal. And I said, so what do you want to do, Coach? He said, we want to go. Hold it. You guys want to go to the Oval Office?
Yes, sir.
I had a feeling they were going to say that. I had a feeling. So, Coach, say a few words. You know, I'm really honored to be with this guy because he took something from, it's not like he inherited a great program. He inherited something that was less than great, and he made it into something that probably has never been done at this level, never been done before. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you. Got a lot of Hoosiers in the stands here and behind me. We got to give them one, two, three, Hoosiers, right? 1, 2, 3, Hoosiers. You got that? Okay, thank you. That's a lot of nice accolades there. Appreciate all that. It all starts with Pam Whitten, our president, Scott Dolson, our athletic director. You got to have a commitment at the top. Without a commitment at the top, nothing's possible. Okay. 2025 Indiana Hoosiers, all right? You know, 24 was a fluke, right? College football playoffs start out 10-0. You know, they won't be very good. All right, 16-0. That's the best record in college football since 1894. That's 132 years. That's before the NCAA. So safe to say that's the greatest record in college football history. Beat 6 top 10 teams, all right? And how did we get that done? All right, we had great people on the staff that thought alike, in the locker room that thought alike. Great leadership, good talent, great character, coachable, 11 guys doing their job, play in, play out, all right? The sum becomes greater than, the whole becomes greater than the sum of its parts, and the most consistent, day in, day out, meeting in, meeting out, practice in, practice out, group I've ever seen in my life. And when, to me, it's a simple message, all right? Prepare the right way every single day to a high standard, and anything is possible in life. The only limitations are those between your ears, and you can't have any of those either. So go IU. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce junior wide receiver Charlie Becker from Nashville, Tennessee, or as Gus Johnson would say, Charlie B from Nashville, Tennessee.
How's it going, everybody? First of all, I just would like to thank Mr. President. Thank you so much for having us. This is an honor. I know I speak behalf of my team by saying we're going to remember this for the rest of our lives. And secondly, I would just like to thank all the Hoosier fans out there. You know, from the start of the season to the end of the season, y'all were there through the highs and the lows, and none of this is possible without y'all. So thank you guys, and go IU.
All right, in our appreciation for this great visit today, for President Trump, we have some Hoosier gear, which a couple of years ago they were giving away. Now you got to pay a lot of money for this stuff. So really appreciate this great opportunity and this great day. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
There you go, 47 on the back. I think we got one picture.
I like this guy. That's great, Coach. Thank you. What else do you have over there? How about a helmet?
Here we go. We got a signed football, 16-0, fast, physical, relentless, go IU.
Wow.
Kurt Signetti and players.
That's great, Kurt. That's beautiful. Great, Kurt. We're coming down to the
We just got an IU helmet also.
Thank you.
No, we'll let you keep the trophy for an NIL contribution.
I'll do that for NIL. Boy, oh boy, did the courts screw us up, huh? That's all right. It's whatever happened. It seems to be working for you, and you're gonna make it very successful. You're gonna create something very, very successful. I have no doubt. So we're gonna take the players now to the Oval Office, and they're gonna get a little glimpse at some. I think it's the most important piece of real estate anywhere in the world in terms of victory and in terms of winning and in terms of things that are happening. Things are happening right now. Our country, you know, a little bit like your team, our country a year and a half ago was laughed at. We were mocked. And now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. There's nobody close. We're the greatest military in the world. We're unparalleled. And we're doing a job. We've made America great again. And this team has got a tremendous future. Don't lose the coach. She said, we can't lose the coach. It's a piece of work, right? We're not going to lose him. But I just want to thank everybody. It's a great turnout. It's a great turnout. But, you know, we do this a lot, and there's always spirit for a winning team. We have all the teams come here. But this was one I really look forward to because the story of Indiana University is really a legendary story. It's a very unusual story. We have a lot of teams where they win, and they keep winning, and they keep winning. They don't know what it is. And you have some that lose and get a little bit lucky. This is a team that came out from really a program that was a basketball program largely, and now it's a great, great football program. And you're going to have a tremendous year. It's a fantastic group, and I look forward to watching. It's going to be a very interesting, but you're going to have a great year. And I know people like this. There are very few of them. Never bet against a guy like this, I'm telling you. Never bet against a guy like Kurt. So thank you, Kurt and Coach, very much, okay? Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. We're going to take them to the Oval Office. Thank you. Let's go, fellas. Come on, follow us. Well, thank you very much, everybody. It's an honor. This is very important. We have a lot of important things happening in our country right now, but we're doing very well. Most healthcare plans do not cover these benefits, but today I'm pleased to announce that the Department of Labor is issuing a new rule to formally create a fertility benefit option for employers that can be offered to all employees outside of their normal health insurance plans. It's a big deal. They were not properly taken care of. Katie Britt knows that better than anybody.
That's right, sir.
Who called me and said, I must say I shouldn't admit this, but the first time I really heard about the fertility was through Katie. She said, sir, we have to do something. And I'm a quick study, so I learned everything there is to learn in about 3-4 minutes. And I became the father of fertility.
That is true.
No, it just made a lot of sense to me. She explained it well. And I hope you tell that story, what happened to you, that you were virtually attacked with a bad ruling from a court. They gave a very bad ruling, as you remember, in Alabama.
You stepped in and saved the day and made sure that we had nationwide access to IVF, and have done so much since then, and we are so grateful.
We had something passed within 2 days after
That's
that.
great.
So
That's
it's
exactly
really pretty
right.
amazing. You don't see that happen very often. But this will be supplemental option available to those who need it, much like vision or dental insurance, so we're bringing it right down into the mainstream. By offering coverage for care at every step, the fertility journey is a very interesting one, very complex it was, and we're making it much simpler. This will hopefully reduce the number of couples who ultimately need to resort to IVF because challenges can be identified and addressed very early in the process. This is a new benefit. This is a benefit that so many people have called me about. I mean, it's incredible. Oz and Bobby, I can tell you, we speak about it a lot. So many people have called me about we have to do this. They've been waiting for it for a long time. But this is a new benefit or an option that will be a major help for millions of American moms that will result in more beautiful American babies. We like that. To further reduce the cost of fertility care, my administration has negotiated unprecedented most favored nation agreements with all of the world's leading pharmaceutical companies and nations. You think that was easy? That was not easy. The nations in particular, I tell you, I had to challenge them with tariffs. You don't want to give us what you want? I'm putting tariffs on your nation. Sir, we'll give it to you immediately. Which actually, you think Biden can do that? I don't think so. Nor did he try, Bobby, right? They didn't even try.
He did not.
They never tried anything. One drug commonly used in IVF has gone from, as an example, $966 to $168, a difference of 500%. This is the most incredible thing. It's not talked about by the fake news. It's sad because it's the biggest thing to happen, I think. We're getting drug prices, prescription drug prices down by 400 or 500%, or depending on the way you want to phrase the question, you could say 400, 500, 600% Oz, and you could also say 80%, 70%, etc. It all depends on the way you phrase the question. I like the 500 better. And since we launched that website just a few months ago, it's called TrumpRx.gov. It's through the roof. Is that a correct statement, Oz? And by the way, you tell them that was your idea to call it Trump. It wasn't mine.
It was, the president did not propose that name, but everyone else thought it was a great idea. It is working spectacularly well, incredibly effective at so many things. That there's not an American around buying a medication who should not check TrumpRx.gov first. We propose, Mr. President, it's going to save us $600 billion over the next decade, the kinds of savings we're going to achieve from the most favored nation drug pricing that Secretary Kennedy organized.
And the media doesn't write about it. If a Democrat proposed it, it'd be front page news every day for the rest of your life. The media, they don't want to write about it. Think of it. We're reducing drug prices by 500, 600%, or 80%, or 75%. Anyway, it's all about the phrasing of the question. And the media doesn't write about it. It's amazing. It's so sad. It's so biased. And that's why the media, their approval rating went down just today, 12%. You're at 12%. That's why I got elected with 97% bad stories. I won in a landslide because you have no credibility. So I wish the media would write about it. It's probably the biggest story. Certainly it's got to be maybe the biggest story in medicine, if you think. I mean, when you get drug reduction prices of 60, 70, 80%. A pill that costs $10 in Germany costs in New York City costs $130, $140. Now the pill is going to go to $20 in Germany and $20 for us. So we're going to have the lowest prices anywhere in the world. And we can't get a story about it. They won't write it. It's the biggest medical story there is, and we cannot get a story about it. I think I'm going to ask Walmart for a little help if they don't mind. Because you people say you get very good publicity. I think if you could explain the trick, and let me know. But since we launched the website just a few months ago, over 19,000 Americans have used those fertility medicines and discounts and saved more than $15 million just in a short period of time, very matter of weeks. The Council of Economic Advisors projects that the number will rise to $4.6 billion over a fairly small number of years. Nobody's ever seen anything like this. And we had to get the countries. First, we had to get the companies. And the companies were pretty good, but they knew I couldn't get the countries. So they didn't care that much. I think when we got the countries, I think they said, what's going on? And yet, they've done fine. They do more business, and they do it from, they made it up in volume, right? They made it up in volume, as the old story went. There are many other ways our administration is supporting moms and women. We passed the largest working family tax cuts in American history.
by far, we passed the largest tax cuts, not only for women, for everybody, but for women. So many working women. We passed the largest tax cuts in history. We also made a historic investment in rural health with $50 billion distributed across all 50 states, and that gives each state a lot of money over the next 5 years. $10 billion has already been distributed, and you see the results all over the rural part of the United States, which I'm proud to say I won by about 80% of the vote. And many states are investing and approving maternal health care. Every Democrat in Congress voted against this historic funding. The Democrats, well, they suffer from Trump derangement syndrome, to be honest. They don't even know what they're looking at. They can't even see straight. But I have a new way out. I'm going to propose something the opposite of what I want, and we will have massive amounts of legislation. No, just all I have to do is
Genius idea.
we will not build the wall. And they'll demand it as it is.
Diabolically.
No, I'm going to do it, Katie. We'll put it
I
in.
think you're.
I'm going to go the opposite. Whatever is bad, I'm going to go for it, and they'll approve what's good, finally. No, they've got serious Trump derangement syndrome, which actually is a disease. I'm hearing it is actually a disease. It's an honor. Today, we're also enacting groundbreaking child care reforms to improve federal child care programs, including Head Start and Child Care Development Fund that goes to each state. It's big stuff. These reforms will give states more flexible, lower costs, increase options, and empower parents to choose what care works best for them. There's a lot of options that you're going to have. Under this plan, you have, I think, pretty much maximum options. And that's what we're looking for, maximum options at the lowest cost. And you've got a cost that if you were here a year ago, or if you were here like during the last administration, you're talking about a cost that would be 8 to 10 times more expensive than what we're doing it. Same exact prescription, same exact medicine, same care at 10%. It'll also free up child care funding for hundreds of thousands of additional children to support stay-at-home parents. In recognition of this ambitious agenda to support American mothers, today we're announcing a new website that is online right now. It's moms.gov. Moms.gov. You couldn't have put that in the Trump deal. You had to give me a new one. Competition. This guy, he wants to make me work so hard. So explain moms.gov, would you please, Dr. Oz?
Well, we're going to have a whole discussion about it, sir, a little bit later. If we could, we want Katie to speak a bit about the first issue you mentioned. But moms.gov is a beautiful site. Folks want to check it right now while we're talking.
Yeah, you really should, and it's pretty incredible. Something that Senator Rubio and I tried to do, sir, but you're the one who actually did it, along with.
Well, I like TrumpRx.gov.
I feel like that.
No,
I mean, I love moms. I love moms, but I like TrumpRx.gov. You put me in there, I got to make sure it gives me competition now. You want to to work? That's all right. We're only kidding. I have to say we're kidding, otherwise they'll do. Trump and us had a major dispute. It was terrible. When Bobby broke them up, it was a terrible, terrible dispute. These people. I encourage every mom to visit this new page where they will find helpful information about addressing clinical care, pregnancy resources, nutrition tips, Trump RX, and Trump Accounts. Trump Accounts has been amazing for the kids. It's Michael and Susan Dell. They put in $6,250 million started it, and that's another one that's gone through the Trump Accounts, where young kids, they turn 18 or 20 or 21, and they feel like a billionaire. You used to say a millionaire, now you say a billionaire, but they certainly feel rich, as opposed to having absolutely nothing. It's so popular, so many people are doing it. We have people, in one case, took over the entire state of Ohio. It's putting up the money for every kid in the state of Ohio. Supporting the journey of American moms at every stage is so important to the success of our nation. I'd now like to ask Senator Katie Britt. She's the one that got me into this, I have to tell you. I hope she always remains loyal to me so I can continue to support her.
You got it.
I would hate to go against her. That will never happen, Katie, right?
That's right, sir.
But to say just a few words, she's really a fantastic woman. She's a great senator. And I got lucky. I was supporting somebody else, and then I realized that the somebody else wasn't very good. And I said, who's that young woman I met that was so impressive? They say, her name is Katie Britt. I said, let me talk to her. I talked to her, I endorsed her. She won a landslide. And you've been winning in landslides ever since. So you've been doing a great job, Katie. Thank you very much. I thought I should explain it.
Thank you.
To say a few words, Katie's going to say, and followed by Monique Pruitt, and then Olivia Walton, then Dr. Oz and Dr. Dorothy Fink, and Dr. Alex Adams. And you'll speak not too long because I am being waited on by a large group of generals. And that's also important, you know, having to do
That it is. Well,
having to do with the absolutely lovely country of Iran. That's
All right.
the way they
Well,
pronounce it.
we will get started then.
Okay.
Mr. President, thank you for your work. We are here, guys. This is another example of promises made, promises kept. I mean, we look at what President Trump did when we dealt with this issue in Alabama. He stepped up to the plate immediately to make sure that we had nationwide access to IVF, to making sure that we had comprehensive fertility treatment so that men and women, couples who were longing for their child, could continue to have that hope and also have that reality. Today doubles down on that yet again. I mean, we see the savings that have happened across the country, and I've had more and more people come up to me and tell me a story about what it has saved them. But we also know that there was opportunity for continued growth. President Trump saw that and he acted on it. So now more people are going to have access through their employer, just like they would dental or vision insurance. And there are people right now who this is out of reach because of affordability, and President Trump is bringing that back in. When you look at the comprehensive nature of what we're doing today and coming on the heels of Mother's Day, I mean, we are thrilled to support mothers everywhere. Whether it's that mom that is getting to experience growing life for the very first time, or the one chasing toddlers or wrangling teenagers, or being there when their adult child calls for advice. Moms are the heartbeats of our families, our communities, and our country. President Trump knows that, and he's made sure we've created a comprehensive culture of life. That's what you see right now with moms.gov. Moms.gov was something that then Senator Rubio and I talked about doing with Senator Kramer and now Senator Schmidt, but of course, President Trump is actually the one to put it into action. It supports moms through the prenatal, postpartum, and early childhood development stages of motherhood. Also, as we tackle rural health, look, I stand up here in front of you not only as a mom of two, but also as someone who lives in the great state of Alabama, where about 28% of women live in a maternal care desert. The work that we did in the Working Families Tax Cuts, guys, that hits it head on. We have an opportunity now to reach those who haven't been reached. When we look at maternal mortality rates, we continue to invest both in the research that will help us resolve that issue, but also in the women that deal with so many issues during their pregnancy. We want them to be supported. And then in addition to all of that, childcare. So we know last year alone, you had about 455,000 women leave the workforce due to affordability and accessibility of childcare. We've often said, and the President and I have talked about this, if you have or want the opportunity to stay home, we want that for you. But if you want or need the opportunity to re-enter the workforce and want to be a part of building back America, like President Trump is doing, we don't want affordability or accessibility to be an impediment to that. So not only at his direction, and I was proud to lead the effort in the Working Families Tax Cuts to modernize the tax code to make sure that childcare was front and center for the first time since Ronald Reagan, sir, you're the first one to do it. But today, that comprehensive nature of whether you're staying home or you're in a faith-based provider or you have a child care center that you lovingly send your child to during the day as you work to provide for your family, today that is easier as a result, and we are proud of what that means for the economy. We know 24% of young families, young families spend about 24% of their annual income on child care. So, Mr. President, thank you for all that you've done creating a comprehensive culture of life. This is really groundbreaking.
So do you see now why I endorsed her? So yes, and always will. I'd be afraid not to. She also is married to the largest human being I've ever met. Her husband is great. He's a 11-year player in the NFL, an all-star, one of the greatest college football players ever at what he does. So he's a fantastic person. Both two really fantastic people. Monique Pruitt speaks about Trump RX.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you, Mr. President and Senator Britt, for all the work and the teams that have done so much around this. This is a very important topic, so glad to be here. I personally use Trump RX and I've saved thousands of dollars on my medication. As President Trump mentioned, a lot of insurances did not cover this. Looks like they will be now, so that's wonderful, thank you. Even so, some don't cover the medication portion. That can be a separate pharmaceutical cost. So Trump RX has brought a lot of the prices of medications down. For me personally, Gonal F has been one of the main medicines that people use for egg retrievals, and that I cannot find it anywhere on any other website or for cheaper. So thank you so much to you guys for doing all the work. We really appreciate it from the IVF community.
It's been amazing, hasn't it, the difference in cost. It's just incredible. I mean, you're talking about something where it goes down 5, 6, 7 times. And I tell the story often. I was so proud. My first term, 1/8 of 1%. I reduced drug costs during my 3rd year. 1/8 of 1%. And it's the first time in 28 years that prices went down. And I was so proud. I had a news conference remember that?
I was there, yes.
Ladies and I'd like to just say that prices have gone down 1/8 of 1%, which is the first time in 28 years that prices have gone down for prescription drug prices and other. I was so proud of that. And now I reduced them by 500%. Perhaps that's experience. I always knew that, we were being just absolutely decimated, but, I was hunted. I was the hunter now. I was the hunted then, and I had to devote a lot of time to that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been too effective. Yeah. If I was out of office, I wouldn't have been. I was hunted by some very bad people. Now I'm the hunter. It's much better when you're the hunter. But these are bad people, and they'll give you no support at all, no matter how good it is. I mean, as an example, I don't know what the numbers are, but if we go to Congress to get something approved, which we get, but you can say that we're going to reduce drug prices by 80%, and we won't get one Democrat vote. I don't know how they get away with it. That's why we call them the Democrats. We have a name. They're Democrats because they're dumb. They're dumb people, and they just can't do it. I've been waiting so long for them to change, but they just keep losing, and they're going to keep losing with their policies. But we reduce prices by 70-80%, and it's such a big deal. I'd like to ask Olivia Walton, who's here with her very handsome husband, Tom. Thank you, Tom, for being here. Thank you very much. And you're going to speak about maternal health care.
Mr. President, I'm going to introduce Olivia. If you don't mind.
Okay, good.
Before we leave the last topic, it's the leader of EMD Serrano, which makes one of the most important fertility drugs, is here. Just to remind you, because you've been giving different percentages, the Monique's price of getting a product is 1/10 of what it used to be. So 1/10. Forget about percentages. That's an easy number to remember. And the fact that we were paying 10 times more for that same drug in America is embarrassing. It changed under the president, and presidents have known her for a long time. But it takes guts to take on important lobbies.
So why didn't they get it done?
Well, the main reason is they were intimidated. They're scared.
Or incompetent.
Or incompetent. But I've had plenty of
Or both.
conversations with the president when he says he doesn't care, he wants to do the right thing, and this is a good example.
Absolutely.
Excuse me, Katie Britt's husband's here. I just spotted this very large answer. That's a great guy. Okay, go ahead.
So let me speak a little bit about the reality that 1 in 3 Americans are underbabied. What does underbabied mean? That means that you either don't have any children or you have less children than you would normally want to have. And to Katie's point, we have a crisis that's causing our fertility rate to drop below 1.5. The replacement rate is 2.1. So we're way below what we need just to replace the people that we have in America. And one of the challenges is that rural America, where there's 60 million people, have a mortality rate, maternal mortality rate when they have babies, that's about 30% higher than if you live in an urban area. One of the ways the president wanted to address this was creating something in the Working Families Tax Cut legislation, which is, I think, the most ambitious, fantastic program ever written to help fix the healthcare system. The president saved Medicaid in the Working Families Tax Cut legislation. He also invested with Congress's help, and Senator Britt and her colleagues voted for this of the House, to put in $50 billion into rural health care. That's $10 billion a year for the next 5 years. All the money went out the door on time, and it's being used for incredibly beneficial advances to help Americans living in rural America have babies safely. Your zip code should not determine your mortality rate if you're having a baby. That is going to change. There's a great program in southern Alabama. They call it LA, Lower Alabama.
I love that you know that.
Yes, I've been there. That is allowing us to use these new ultrasound probes now if you don't have an obstetrician in your county, because in many counties in LA, which is Lower Alabama, that is the case. We have states and all the governors are embraced on this, investing a lot of money training more people to work in rural America, and we're also using telehealth tools. So you have big, sophisticated urban centers adopting smaller facilities, clinics, so they can help moms deliver babies wherever they may live. You don't have to drive across state to get there. Now, as great as this all is, and as fantastic as it has been to have 50 governors, in this case, Mr. President, even the Democratic governors are on board. It's such a good offer. It's such a beautiful way of keeping your people healthy that everyone's embraced this program. We still can't do it by ourselves. We have to invest in the American people. We have to have governors and private sector partners that make this happen, as well as, and I hope the Secretary can speak to this in a moment, because MAHA is probably vital to this effort. You have to get moms healthy enough to do the most creative thing the universe knows, which is making babies. So Olivia, maybe you can take the message around the private sector involvement and how you and your family have gotten involved in this and led the way, and maybe we can talk about MAHA afterwards.
Sure, I would love to. And first, thank you so much, Mr. President. Thank you, Dr. Oz, and thank you, Secretary Kennedy. Thank all of you for making maternal health really a national priority. It's an honor to be here today with all of you. This $50 billion in rural health funds, this really represents a transformative opportunity to invest in maternal health care. And in fact, it's what's given us the confidence to launch Healthy Moms, Healthy Babies America, which is our campaign. It is bipartisan. Dr. Oz is right. Democratic governors across the country are also very interested in doing this. We have a simple goal. We want to cut the U.S. maternal death rate in half in 5 years. That sounds audacious, but I am confident we can do it. I am confident because we have the federal leadership, because President Trump wants to make America the best place to have a baby. I'm confident because we now have this $50 billion, money that's already going out to the states that we can actually leverage to pay for some of this. And I'm confident because honestly, we know how to fix this. The vast majority of infant and maternal death is preventable. We know the solutions. Maternal health is rural health. You heard the numbers from Dr. Oz. I'm here today as a mother from Arkansas. I have 3 young kids. I live in a very rural state, and I'm thrilled to say Governor Sanders is taking maternal health head on and has made some incredible progress. But in rural America, it is hard to have a baby right now. It is hard to get care. We have moms driving for hours to get to the OB. Most moms don't have the time to do that, and a lot of moms don't have the money to do that either. And then after they have the baby, they're not going back for any kind of checkup. For those of you who know, who've had a baby, what's the standard of care? They say, come back in 6 weeks. It's not a good idea. You all know how precarious those precious few weeks are. You need help sooner than that. And by the way, not all this care has to be done by an OB. It can be done with doulas and nurses and midwives, folks in your community. They can work with the doctor. As Dr. Oz said, there is virtual care. The solutions really do exist, and now is the time to get serious about this stuff and scale it. So we are uniting business leaders with policymakers, healthcare providers, faith leaders. We believe there's a great opportunity for faith leaders to play a bigger role in taking care of babies postpartum. And I'm just grateful to be here. I really believe, I know you're meeting with the generals, and we appreciate you keeping our country safe. Investing in maternal health care is the most strategic investment we can make in the future of American prosperity. So thank you.
Hey, Tom, she did very well. What do you think? I'd give her a 10, maybe a 12. I'll give her a 12 out of. So when is she running for office? You know, the nice thing, I was just listening, as Olivia was saying, she's so respected, and she doesn't need this. She doesn't need to come here and go, and she goes around and checks hospitals and does things. She really doesn't need it at all. She could be doing anything she wants, anything. And I think it's fantastic. And thank you very much.
Very kind.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Really beautiful. Okay, we have Dr. Fink.
Hello, yes, right here.
Dr. Fink, how are you?
So good to see you.
Nice to see you. Go ahead.
Well, thank you, Mr. President, for your ongoing support of maternal and infant health. We recognize that the health of women and mothers are so deeply interconnected. That's why we launched the Perinatal Improvement Collaborative during the first Trump administration, an effort that has continued to this day to improve health outcomes for moms and babies. Through this nationwide network of hospitals, we are using real data and proven clinical practices to protect mothers and newborns. In the Perinatal Improvement Collaborative hospitals, we have reduced maternal mortality by 41.5%, which is truly incredible. And this is compared with the 5.9% decline in benchmark hospitals over the same period of time. Our goal is to have every hospital in America doing this, and we're thrilled to be partnering with Heartland Forward to make this happen. We really want every woman to have a healthy delivery and a healthy baby, and to make the United States the healthiest place in the world to give birth.
Okay.
Yes, and I'll also add in that you all and the Trump administration have taken historic steps to really strengthen support for American mothers and families. With the launch of moms.gov, we're highlighting all of the policy achievements that both you, President Trump, and Secretary Kennedy have advanced to support moms and babies. Moms.gov is the first of its kind resource that offers all sorts of guidance and information to support the health and well-being of mothers and their families. Moms.gov also really helps support expecting parents who are navigating difficult or unexpected pregnancies. We are committed to supporting women's health throughout motherhood and at every stage of life. Supporting women's health is not just a policy, it's a promise. We know that healthy mothers help build healthy families, and that healthy families build a healthy America. So I want to thank you, Mr. President, Secretary Kennedy, and everyone here for your support of women's health.
Thank you, Doctor, very much.
Thank you.
Well done. It's well done. Dr. Adams, please, about child care.
Thank you, Mr. President. This Mother's Day, we recognize the reality for millions of Americans, and that's child care has become too expensive, too difficult to find, and too disconnected from the needs of working families. For years, Washington's answer has always been the same: more bureaucracy, more mandates, and higher costs for everyone. President Trump, you are taking a different approach. Under your leadership, we're advancing a child care reform package that puts parents back in charge. And we're going to do three primary things. First, we're restoring parental choice. That means bringing faith-based providers back to the table. And it means recognizing the vital role played by home-based providers, relatives, and parents who choose to stay home during the earliest years of their children's lives. Second, we are cutting unnecessary red tape that forced providers to close, limited access to care, and made it harder for working families to find the support they needed. We're moving away from one-size-fits-all federal mandates and instead empowering parents to meet their child's unique needs. And then third, we're strengthening accountability to ensure taxpayer dollars are protected from fraudsters. Under the Biden administration, they essentially backed the Brinks truck up to states and sent the security home. We think Americans deserve better. We will ensure that these funds go to families who truly need support. Our goal is simple: more affordable options, more providers, more choices for parents, and more accountability for taxpayers. Mr. President, your pro-family agenda recognizes a simple truth: strong families build a strong nation. And if I could just add on a personal note, Mr. President, I want to thank you for your leadership, and everybody up here for their leadership on fertility issues. My beautiful baby girl, Emerson, is a product of IVF, and I thank you for your leadership on that issue and sharing the joy of parenthood with many, many more American families. Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you very much, Doctor. It's great to know. It's been really successful under this administration. And again, Katie, you were so helpful. Bobby, do you have something to say?
Very, very briefly, Mr. President. I just wanted to stress what a huge win for the MAHA movement and for the pro-life movement Moms.gov is. It is one-stop shopping for IVF, for prenatal care, for postnatal care, for nutrition, for baby formula, and of course for Trump RX. We have, as Dr. Oz pointed out, a fertility crisis in this country right now. We just found out that we've dropped out of 1.57%. The replacement rate is 2.1. 100 years ago, we were at 3.27, so more than double than we are today. We are approaching the cataclysmic rates that Japan and China are now experiencing that is threatening their economy. It's a threat not only to our economy, to our national security, it's a direct threat to our Social Security Trust Fund, to the Medicare Trust Fund. President Trump has directed my agency to find out the cause of the fertility crisis, and that is part of this program. We're looking at the impact of metabolic challenges, which directly affect fertility, of obesity, which affects fertility, of endocrine disruptors, of pesticides, of this toxic soup that our young women are walking around today to try to figure it out. The fertility crisis for women began in 2007. For men in 1970, men had twice the sperm count as our teenagers do today. This is an existential crisis for our country. We had a series of presidents that were trying to discourage childbirth and motherhood in this country. We now have a president that is trying to encourage it, and I want to thank you again for your leadership.
Thank you very much, Bobby.
It's our purpose to bring to bear the principle of common sense and rational discussion to the issues of our day. America was created at a time of great turmoil, tremendous disagreements, anger, hatred. There was a book written in 1776 that guided much of the discipline of thinking that brought to us the discovery of our freedoms, of our God-given freedoms. It was Thomas Paine's Common Sense, written in 1776, one of the first American bestsellers, in which Thomas Paine explained, by rational principles, the reason why these small colonies felt the necessity to separate from the Kingdom of Great Britain and the King of England. He explained their inherent desire for liberty, for freedom, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, the ability to select the people who govern them. And he explained it in ways that were understandable to all the people, not just the elite. Because the desire for freedom is universal. The desire for freedom adheres in the human mind, and it is part of the human soul. This is exactly the time we should consult our history. Look at what we've done in the past and see if we can't use it to help us now. We understand that our founders created the greatest country in the history of the world, the greatest democracy, the freest country, a country that has taken more people out of poverty than any country ever. All of us are so fortunate to be Americans. But a great deal of the reason for America's constant ability to self-improve is because we're able to reason, we're able to talk, we're able to analyze. We are able to apply our God-given common sense. So let's do it. It's our purpose